Ready?
Yes, I am. Recording.
Yeah, don't turn the recording off just when we start. That's a great idea. I have a story to tell you about that.
Okay.
Take it away, Sarah. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for being with us this week. We have some pretty exciting news. Our Global Warming Solutions Act passed the second reading on the floor of the House yesterday. 105 yes votes to 37 no votes.
That's amazing.
Which is just amazing. We were hoping for 95, and when the votes just kept rolling in, it was very clear that you guys have been doing a fantastic job of reaching out to your representatives, to creating a sense of urgency and to really instilling in members of the House that now is the time to act on climate, and it really shows. And I'm so grateful to you guys for sticking with us and for following up on our calls to action. And we're going to keep giving you calls to action because you're doing a great job with it.
That's right. And it just is, it's not one thing, right? It's just the whole bubbling up, and Vermonters across the state have played a great role in bringing this front and center. So thank you.
Coming out to all these public meetings and engaging, asking questions, challenging us, helping us make it stronger. And a big shout out to Representative Tim Briglin, who did just a fantastic job on the floor of the House yesterday. Boy, he was really smooth.
So I wasn't able to watch the debate because I was in Senate committee, but what were some highlights?
Yeah. So a lot of the questions that were coming at Tim were really about, like the timeline and, can't we push it back? And, why are we making these goals accountable right now? And, aren't we abdicating our legislative authority? And he did a fantastic job of answering that question because, there's always this dynamic in a citizen legislature where we're only here for 4.5 months a year, but the administration folks, all of the scientists and analysts and the folks who need to get the work done are here year round, and so we're directing them to be a part of writing the plan. And then we're directing them to do whatever rules and regulations they need to do. They'll have to come back to the legislature for approval of those rules.
Is that what people, because I've heard critics say this is abdicating something, like we're handing away a power. Is that what they mean? That we're asking the administration to come up with a plan to combat climate crisis?
Yeah. I mean, I don't
so
understand.
We do that all the time.
We do that all the time.
Yeah, weird. Okay, so you will hear this, that we're abdicating. And
yes, we're abdicating the executive functions to the executive branch.
Right. We're reinforcing the responsibility they already have, and then they come back to us.
They have to come back for the rules to be approved. They have to come back and tell us whether any laws need to be changed in order to meet our climate goals, and then they have to come back to us and present a budget, and we have to pass the budget just like we do with every other function of state government. We approve the rules and pass the laws and pass the budget.
So 105 votes.
105
I mean, that's
votes,
awesome. People understand that getting over 100 means you're into veto-proof territory.
Yeah.
We're going to see how the governor reacts, obviously.
Right.
But there were Republicans who voted for it. Progressives, independents, almost all the Democrats.
Yeah.
Republicans, I noticed, and I can't pull it up here, but there was a Republican, Ann Donahue from Northfield, very thoughtful.
She's very thoughtful, and she presented some amendments that she thought made the bill stronger. We thought pushed the dates back further, and we're in an urgent climate crisis, which we'll get to in a few minutes with some other news reports.
But then she voted for it, and her vote explanation, which is an option to members who want to have it something in the record, people can go look in the House Journal, basically sort of said, I don't love this bill, but I'm not willing to do nothing.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool. That's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Anyway, pretty exciting.
Yeah. So we need to make sure that one of our calls to action to you guys this week is to reach out and say thank you to your members who voted for this. For many people, they had to spend a lot of time thinking about it, really understanding the way the bill works. But it is in no small part because of your advocacy in support of this that we got to 105.
Any surprises coming in third reading today? That's the final House action.
So this was the final House action. I expect we'll have a few more amendments and probably some long floor debate. You know, it was getting late in the day yesterday, and sometimes people run on energy. So now that we're all fresh this morning, we probably will have another go around with it. So you're welcome to tune in if you want to listen to floor debate anytime in the next coming weeks. You can go onto the VPR website and listen to floor debate. And you know, we are feeling strong. We're going to send that over and see if we can get the Senate to beat our 2/3 margin.
Well, let's get it passed. But yes. So I was at the TCI forum in Burlington last night. It's the first one I was able to get to. It's the last of 4, I think, the administration held around the state. It was great. It was not a huge crowd, about 40, 42 people maybe. Largely
compared to our roadshow events.
That is interesting, right? I came away more and more convinced this is something we have to do. And I've said on this video and elsewhere, this is the regional approach. This is 12 states. This is as much as a quarter of the country's economy coming together to try to tackle.
Such a tremendous opportunity to really go beyond the power of our one state.
Peter Walk, who's Deputy Secretary of A&R, I think is his title, has been leading this effort as negotiations among different states. He said, I asked him in the crowd about the 25% of the economy, because I wanted people to understand the scale of this. It's really important. He said the state is about 1% of the country's emissions. And so when we can be part of something that's engaging a quarter, and actually he said it's almost closer to a third of the country's economy. Nice. Whatever, it's a lot, right? Yeah. And it far exceeds anything, Global Warming Solutions Act, all the other important policies that we have to do in Vermont. This one has a scale that is very exciting. People, it was a good discussion. There was maybe a couple negative people, but basically people were interested, wanted to learn more. I was frankly just surprised that there's not a lot of people there. And I'm surprised because around the legislature we hear that this could be politically scary or people are hostile. Yeah, 40 people in Burlington. There's more people next door having dinner. So it was just strange. It was noteworthy, and actually the attendance has not been huge. We'll put up a link so that people can add feedback through the website that A&R is collecting before the end of the month. There's a short timeline.
Yes, this is the public input time. So if you have thoughts on TCI, definitely jump on.
A couple other quick things.
Yeah. So wow, we all felt for our neighbors in the Midwest last summer when they just had month after month after month of rain, and unfortunately there's news stories today that 2020 is shaping up to be another really bad year. They are having record flooding right now in Mississippi, and I guess Tennessee has also been hit really hard according to the news piece. So take a look at this. It is we need to be ready to adapt to these kinds of changing weather. 2 feet of rain. Yeah, I don't even understand how. I can't fathom that.
When you're talking to relatives and they're like, it's all a hoax, blah blah blah.
Right.
Ask them when they ever saw
Did you read this news?
2 feet of rain.
Yeah, fake news.
Jeez. New York Times, similarly this week, we saw polling increasingly. Americans feel this is urgent. There's a bit of an interesting age breakdown, still a partisan breakdown, which is unfortunate. Where Democrats are much more concerned about climate than Republicans, but Republicans moving forward in terms of concern about this, and overwhelmingly, even in both parties, people, or not a majority of both parties, but a lot of people in both parties say the federal government has got to do more. We agree.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I like Global Warming Solutions Act. So we're ready for when the feds turn to us and ask for ready to engage.
We'll have a plan.
But check out that. It's just interesting that we're in a moment where the public is catching up. and demanding action. Policymakers are getting into gear. Maybe,
Right.
I don't know. Let's hope
I'm
it's
feeling
enough.
hopeful.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
A couple other shout outs of thanks I want to give. The Youth Climate Lobby has been fantastic.
Now we vote as an assembled body. All those in favor of passing the declaration that we created today say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it.
They have been coming to the State House on Fridays. We've been touching base with them regularly to ask them to do some of these calls to action. So we really want to say a big shout out to them because their action, their involvement, their poise and their commitment has been really powerful.
Yesterday, also the faith leaders were here,
Yep.
and I got to welcome them and say hi and thank them. And I noted to them, and I think it's cool. We've had business leaders. If you want to think of people representing the economy, we've had the young people representing the future.
Yep.
No big deal. And then yesterday we had moral, ethical leaders coming together and just saying, do this.
Do more.
Get going. And then yesterday you guys delivered 105 votes. That's so great. Thank you. Thanks to Bob for videoing.
Thanks, Bob, the green guy,
Always.
for being with us on Friday mornings. And, we're looking forward to keeping up the good work. So definitely share this on all of your social media and
Please.
Encourage your friends to sign up to our weekly newsletter at btclimatecaucus.com and have a good week.
Thanks.
Maybe you could put the bloopers at the end.
Okay.
That way, if people,
That's a good idea.
want to get
That's
to
a
the
good idea.
So maybe we should actually make some.
Maybe we should pick our.
Oh, don't worry.
You.
Hey, I have an idea. So great. We are bringing climate
It's
mainstream.
working. It's working.
People are getting it.
Shit is
Yeah.
working.
Shit is working.
Well, let me just jump in and say that you guys made this happen. And the team I'm serious, if you didn't have a face in the public,
There's something to that.
there is definitely something to that.
Well.